dancers! So today we're going to be watching the most watched YouTube video if you type in the word ballet, and that is Royal Ballet's Sugar Plum Fairy, the Nutcracker. And I am not surprised that this is the top most watched ballet because, well, the Sugar Plum Fairy and, well, the Nutcracker is really one of the most known ballets, and the music for sure, if you are a non-dancer, is something very familiar. So if you are not a dancer, the music that you hear in this dance is from the Nutcracker, and it is danced by the Sugar Plum Fairy. So the Sugar Plum Fairy solo variation for sure is one of the more recognizable songs or pieces of classical music we know, including probably the Waltz of the Flowers, which you often hear in coffee shops probably during Christmas being jazzed up, and probably the Russian dance. I hear that very often. For sure, my favorite of all in the Nutcracker Ballet would be the Waltz of the Snowflakes. But I am saying that from experience just because I really loved dancing the snowflakes when I was dancing still. The dance is actually from the ballet The Nutcracker, and from what I remember, Tchaikovsky, who is the composer of the music here, so the choreographer, Petipa, wanted it to sound something like drops of water, if I'm not mistaken. And that's how the sound was dum, 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 dum. I don't know. And it's a specific instrument that he used just to kind of get that quality of sound to come out. So that's some interesting fact about dancers. I'm sure there are many interesting facts about the Nutcracker, such as it wasn't called the Nutcracker before. I think it was Nutcracker and the Mouse King, I'm not mistaken. The actual tale was a little different, or I think far from the actual story. In fact, there's so many versions of the Nutcracker, and this is just the Royal Ballet version. So again, you could watch so many different versions and maybe pick out your favorite, but I'm just reviewing the top viewed one, which is the Royal Ballet version, it seems. The version that I know actually, and I watched this earlier, is not this. The version that I used to do was the original version, which is Petipa's version, and I know this because, well, I used to dance in the company, so I learned this the way my Russian teacher taught it and the way our company was doing it all the time. And this is the da-da-dum, then do the drum bum, da-da-dum, 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 da-da-da-da-da. So again, if you are not a dancer, if you are a dancer who's just knowing this, there are different versions, 2 variations. So I would say look it up if you get really into the role for sure. You'd see and find different versions that you like more. One of my favorite versions actually of this, and the most difficult one I know, is the Nureyev version. And people don't talk about the Nureyev version so much, but I'm going to invite someone to talk to you more about that because I am not as familiar with it. I've only seen it once done live, and I saw Natasha Mayer, who's now English National Ballet's principal dancer, dance it, and I saw her get promoted that day that I watched it. It was an amazing experience. So I really just wanted to do a mini analysis of the dance and like how difficult these steps are, maybe to go through some mini little details about it and how I love it and how I also don't love it. I have a love-hate relationship with the Nutcracker just because when we were dancing in the company, we would dance it over and over and over again, especially the Waltz of the Flowers. I remember just doing the core work again and again and again, and there was this one time we even stayed until almost midnight just to get this one part right, where our arms go up and down at the same time. But yes, just let's start, shall we? So again, this is the Sugar Plum Fairy of the Nutcracker from the Royal Ballet. It has 26,065,175 views right now, and it was posted on December 1, 2017. So let's play it. Oh, we heard a cough. It's part of the ballet. On a side note, I really hate people when they cough right before an important part, especially when you can hear the music go dum bum. Although, you know, I have had some really bad coughing moments because the air in the theater is so dry, and I remember once watching a ballet and I have really bad asthma. I couldn't help it. I was holding it in the whole time. Then I would cry when I would clap. So anyway, so there's the dewdrop sound. I don't know if you all hear it, but love the little footwork there. that control is really nice. Oh, that ending also. That jump is a really hard one, by the way. Let's look into it. That jump, the I remember learning it once before, or I think a few, well, we've done it a few times, but I remember learning it the first time and I couldn't even move my feet. It's like a pas de chat. There's a term for it. Why am I forgetting what it's called? But I remember learning it and it was just like, how do you even, you're doing a pas de chat and you're supposed to go like, and it's like such a difficult step. I think what I love about so far in this version is just like how simple it is. More coughing. Oh, it's a long version. Brava! Ah, that was really nice. Oh, you know what? I'm not wondering why this is kind of the more famous one. Well, besides the fact that the Nutcracker is a really famous ballet and well, kids love to watch it. For sure, the Sugar Plum Fairy is like one of the top searches of kids and maybe adults who are looking to get to know the ballet better. I often get friends asking me about the Nutcracker, so I don't doubt why it is one of the top searches. And you know, it's a holiday tradition also. It already has kind of that name that the Nutcracker, and most especially the Balanchine version is what I grew up watching and was always on TV when I was growing up. Yeah, it's really famous right now for sure. And the Sugar Plum Fairy, I guess because she embodies what we all want or aspire to be. It kind of is like a really beautiful dance and a combination of that, and maybe the music also, the way the drops, then even towards the end, as it's growing, it's really beautiful and beautifully done. So I really don't doubt why it's one of the top searched and everything. 26 million views, crazy, just of the Sugar Plum Fairy. Besides that, I love Lauren Cubertson. I hope I'm saying that right. There are a few ballets that I've seen her do, and I love how light she dances, and I actually love this version of Sugar Plum Fairy, although I have not seen it done as often because I'm used to doing or have learned the Russian version, so I'm used to seeing that. But I think what I love about this version is I feel like it's a little more simple in the sense that they don't do so much jumping around. It's more of just long and lots of passes, and I love that part with the passe that goes in like this, arabesque to your passe. That was really nice. And this was a long version. I've seen versions of this done quite short, right? They end in the but this one went all the way to the piqué ménage, all the way to the, yeah. So yeah, I hope that I can do a little more review videos like this. I hope that you enjoyed a little bit of my insight on this. I have no comments whatsoever. She's a wonderful dancer, and you can see why she's so professional and why it's one of the top viewed ones. There are 248,000 likes on it and 6,000 dislikes on it. I'm just wondering why there are dislikes on it. It was really nice, but I do feel as though like not as exciting maybe, but if you were looking for like a simple Sugar Plum Fairy variation that's just almost perfect and just, you know, like the quality of it, I would say this is a really good reference. The Sugar Plum Fairy, though, is really supposed to look kind of like more easy because she's supposed to be the queen of all the sweets, you know? So I guess she represents that also, and she's supposed to be more like that representation. So I don't love her character. I mean, not the person, I mean the Sugar Plum Fairy character since I was dancing. I mean, they're more exciting characters, but she makes it really easy, or she makes it look so easy for such a difficult variation. You can see even on the start of the variation, the walks, you know, in the first few seconds, that's a really, really hard thing to do as a dancer. I mean, she rolls through so well on her feet. Yeah. And well, I think she was using gainer mindens, if I'm not mistaken, as her point shoes. But I love this version all in all, and I hope that you can catch it. And if there are any other videos that you'd love me to see and review, I'd love to, you know, for you to hit them up down on our comment section. And we've been growing quite a bit in the channel, and I know I'm trying to kind of find my little niche here and there, but I hope that you're enjoying these little mini reviews as I am learning all these things. So there, this is again Teacher Lina of Dance by Lina and Dance by Lina Dancer. You can head on to our YouTube channel and our dance page or dancewear page for any of the dancewear that I'm wearing right now, and of course some more details on our Studio Dance by Lina page. So thank you, dancers!